Ready? We're ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Who?
Who?
Are you ready?
And he's ready.
I'm close. I'm Eddie.
So stupid.
I can leave that in. Perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome to Toddy Rap, and today we're doing our lovely podcast of, is this really the best anime of all time?
Are you asking us
Part
or are you asking our
one.
viewers?
No, this is going to be our new segment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is this the greatest anime of all time?
So, yeah, I got a few animes I want to talk about. We're going to start with this one. The greatest anime of all time,
According to Mel.
according to Mel.
Oh, not according to you?
No,
No, of course not.
that's what I'm
According to
asking
Mel.
the question.
Oh, he's asking the question. Okay.
Can this be considered
The greatest anime of all time.
Which anime is it?
This is Fullmetal Alchemist,
Alchemist. Okay.
not Brotherhood.
Not Brotherhood? Oh, that's normal?
Oh, G.
No, we're talking about Brotherhood.
Yeah.
So recently,
Brother.
I finally watched Fullmetal Alchemist.
Uh-huh.
This is part 2. If you haven't seen the other one, I never uploaded it because it was just a ruined joke.
He watched the movies.
Yeah, he
As
watched
an
the live
inside
action
joke,
movies.
I watched the live action movies and I was going to shit on them, saying it was Fullmetal Alchemist.
Sucks.
And then these guys just didn't have any arguments. So I had nothing to talk about. And we ended it after like 5 minutes.
There's no rebuttal.
And I was like,
I mean, no, but...
and I'm just like, okay, well, I can't really say anything. My joke is ruined.
10-minute video.
Not even. So I was like, fuck it. I got some free time. Okay, I can work while I watch because, here we go, dubs for the win. And I'm going through a lot of the old anime that I haven't seen or have been on my backlog. So I was like, might as well go through Full Metal Alchemist. So I watched it in English, watched all 64 episodes in about a week and a half. And I want to say, it's a pretty good anime. Is this the best anime of all time, though? According to Mal and many websites that have argued with us
And
on the internet.
Thousands of people.
It's always this or One Piece. One day I'll watch One Piece. If it wasn't 1,000 episodes, I'd take the battle, but I don't have that much time right now. But I'd like to say, this show, not movie, we've been talking about movies, is pretty good. It starts off just basic, like shonen. Guy going around, can use alchemy, kicks ass. You get a nice hot girl.
Someone dies.
A lot of people die. Then a lot of people try to get reborn, but they don't actually. You lose arms, lose
Main
bodies.
character, the funniest. You see the comedy relief.
The main character?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. The Edster.
The Ed boy?
Yeah, I think he's a comedy relief.
You see the best character?
No, not at all. The best character,
Which character makes the show?
like out of the main, because to me, like the main characters,
Which character makes the show? And why is it?
there's a lot of characters
I like Alphonse. Roy Mustang's pretty cool.
Mustang's great. I forget her name. It's Army Lady number 7. My favorite characters, I see one of them on here. I do like the Armstrongs.
Oh, my neck.
I like
It hurts.
I like the main Armstrong buff dude. Great comedy guy, great just all-around fighter. And I do like the sister. I forgot her name. It's also Armstrong.
Oh, frick.
It's General Armstrong. Basically what I can remember.
Yeah.
It's
Whoever's in the show,
she's from the north.
right?
Yeah.
Remember? Do you remember?
I haven't seen the show
Oh my god!
in a long time. It's like you were telling me about stuff, and I'm just like, I
She's the
kind of
character
remember.
you would love because she has the step on me vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But other than that, Alphonse is also. I'd probably
I
consider
like
him.
Alphonse.
He seems to be more like the main character because, like, obviously you see Edward go through everything,
Yeah, yeah.
but he doesn't really do much.
What is the show about?
It's about a guy
And his mom
and his
dies.
brother, and his dad leaves him to go get milk and never comes back.
Uh-huh.
Classic.
And then his mom takes care of him, dies,
Tragically or just dies?
She died young, I think, of a sickness.
Yeah.
Pretty much tragically. Kids are young, so they try to bring her back. Doesn't work.
As you do.
It doesn't work. Instead, they get a blob of something, and the brother loses his body. So then the younger brother's like, nah, I want my brother's soul back. So he loses his arm and leg for his soul, and he puts it into the robot body.
Yep.
And then they go around the whole movie show.
I feel like it's a win-win.
Dude, not gonna lie, the robot body seemed pretty good. There is some downsides from what they were saying, like you don't sleep ever, you're lonely at night, can't masturbate.
You're lonely at
What do you think? He don't got a dick, right?
You can't feel anything. You know, it seems like a shitty life.
Maybe that's a good thing.
You probably get a lot done.
Can't even eat.
No.
Wow.
And then later on, like the alchemy starts to break away, like because the body is rejecting it.
Yeah,
It's not his soul in the right body.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess you do need your body at some point. But, you know, the whole show is about them getting their bodies back. But as they do that, the whole fucking government, I guess the whole military is corrupt.
Classic.
So they're trying to figure out how to save everybody while finding their bodies. And the only way to do that, from what they understand, is to get a philosopher's stone, which is like...
They want to save everybody from the government?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's still good in the government and there's bad in the government.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to get these philosopher's stones. They find out through some of these homunculuses that the only way to do it is by sacrificing people. So they use other people's souls to make...
Yeah.
Crossover with Harry Potter or not?
There's a certain part where they fight this one bad guy. He's got no nose.
Oh, okay.
Is it the
Yeah,
back
you
of
go,
the head of somebody?
Yeah, it's a great fight scene. But then other than that, they just try to find their souls or bodies. And they just go around meeting either really corrupt people, really good people. Even some of the bad guys are good. Like, so there's the one guy who's called Father. He's the main villain. And he can use his body to get rid of, like, greed. It's all the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah.
He pulls them out of his body and makes them into homunculuses.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of them are good. Some of them are just straight up evil.
Yep.
Some of them die instantly and never come back. Like, you meet the best one everyone considers Lust. She's in about 5 episodes.
She's like right there.
She hot?
Right, that's her. No, it's not her.
I think that is Lust, yeah.
Yeah, she's right there.
She's also got the Step on Me Mommy vibe.
She hot?
She's very hot.
Yeah.
She dies in about 5 episodes and never comes back.
She's one of the characters that you see a bunch of people cosplay.
Yeah. So
even though she's not in there for very long.
So she dies, and you're like, oh, okay. But then you see some of them come back for some reason. Some don't. Some do.
Showing it reasons.
The issue I have with this anime, it's an anti-shonen. I mean, in my opinion, what it means is it's got the shonen vibes. No one ever powers up. There's no training.
There's no power. There's no power of friendship. There's no tournament arc.
No tournament arc.
What the fuck?
This is an anti-shonen.
It's not a shonen.
Have you never seen Fullmetal?
No, I've never seen it.
You haven't either?
No.
This whole time
Oh
I thought
my
you've seen
God.
Brotherhood. This whole time.
Never seen it. I refuse to watch it
That's fine.
Why?
because everyone likes it, and I want to be a hater.
Well, that's why I watched it, so I can hate on it with logic. But my issues, though, besides that, what did I just say? I hate this anime because so it's anti-shonen. It has all this stuff like you think he'd power up at some point. Never does. He gets older. Like the whole joke is he's short and like a runt.
Yeah.
He does get bigger. Like there's certain scenes where
There's no Dragon Balls.
No.
there is balls, but they're red and small.
Right. There's no evil fruits,
No devil fruits.
devil fruits.
No.
No.
I guess you can eat them. Some people swallow them. I guess you shit them out at some point. But either way, no power-ups. There's a part where you learn that there's 2 different types of alchemy. And this is like the real big thing is there's one side alchemy and then there's like the reverse of that. One's for destruction, one's for rebuild.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, oh, I can't wait for them to learn this and then fight the bad guy with both sets of alchemy. Never learn it. They talk about it the whole time like they're gonna learn it. They never learn
The
it.
bad guy, the government. Who's the main
He's
bad
like-
guy?
He controls the government, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. It's basically one of his homunculuses is anger. I think it's anger.
Well, if it's all the 7 deadly sins, then yes, probably. Yeah.
I think it's anger. It's whatever the main. He's called the Fuhrer. So he's obviously. evil.
Wait.
When I first meet him, I'm like, this is a cool dude. And they say, oh, it's the Fuhrer. I'm like, I don't know if he's good anymore. And so I'm just like, okay, whatever. We'll see if he's actually evil. But he runs like the military and government. And then you find out he's actually evil. And then you're like, we got to kill this guy, but he's super powerful. And then towards the end, you just fight literally everybody. And it's just a big war between the good side of the government and the bad side.
Who wins?
The good
The
side.
shonen. The good
It
wins,
always
obviously.
wins. A lot of people die, I do say, in this show. It's a show
A lot of
where...
important people.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a show where you go, oh, I like this
They
character.
die.
And they'll probably
Yeah,
die or get disfigured or you
Classic.
never see him.
Classic.
Because I was expecting the show to be like, oh no, he died. Let's resurrect him again. Because you can resurrect people with the Philosopher's Stone if you have like certain things, blah, blah, blah. So I was expecting a Dragon Ball where, oh
Yeah.
no,
Does he get his body
Goku
back?
died. He does get his body back at the end.
Does the other dude get his arm and leg back?
They do. So
Was it worth it?
for what he gave up, because you have to give something up to enter this realm where you see
It's that transaction.
the god.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's called like the one or the truth. That's what it's
So
called.
they went from like, I want my mommy back to, you know what? I want my body back.
Well, yes, because they realized that bringing back is not right. Because even when they were bringing people back, they wasn't the right person.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because you also find their teacher. Teacher's a great character. Her thing was her kid died at at almost birth, so they try to bring it back. She loses some of her organs for it and brings back like a mush and it dies instantly.
Shit.
So the transaction's never a good
It's that
transaction.
monkey paw.
Yeah. So it's like basically at the end, to bring his brother back, like it's his body and his soul, because he sacrifices his soul to get his arm and leg back basically at the end fight. So for that, he gets rid of the truth is what is considered. So he gets rid of his alchemy. So he'll never be able to use alchemy again, which is
So he gives up his power ups.
yep. His whole stick is gone. So he gets rid of that, and he brings his power back, or loses his power, brings his brother back. His brother can do alchemy, which is lucky for him.
He didn't have to give up anything.
He just lost.
Well, I mean, the other
multiple
kid.
years
I
of
mean, the main character is what
humanity.
kind of instigated all of it, right?
Yeah.
But
He brings his brother back, but his body's like withered. It's
Yeah.
like it hasn't been fed.
yeah.
Right.
It's weak. Because at one point he does go see, like at the final battle, he sees his self, and he's like, "I've been looking for my body this whole time." And he's like, "You can take it right now." And he's like, "The issue is, if you take it, you will not be able to fight because he has no strength anymore."
Yeah.
So he says, "Fuck that. I'd rather fight than have my body back."
I'll come back.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
Basically, that's what he says. He's like, "I'll be back for you," when he does that.
Yeah.
And the body's like, because the body's like, "I like my soul. I can't wait to see him."
I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, I believe in him, but
That's a cool dude.
he's like,
cool dude.
if he goes back, it's gonna be probably darkness forever.
Yeah.
He like knows that he probably won't be able to get back to him.
Tell me about this dog girl.
Who?
Dog girl.
Oh, you mean like the first arc of the show?
Tell me about this
I
chimera.
Oh, he knows the Chimera.
Everyone knows the Chimera.
Well, I'm
It's
surprised
the
he knows it's
meme.
called Chimera.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's called. I just thought it was a dog girl. For the longest time, dude, it's like episode like 6.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
fucking
like the
sitting
first
there.
arc.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, I know that dog and that girl.
Yeah, hey, wait
I've
a
seen
minute.
those before.
That's part of the meme. Part of the meme is that it slaps you in the face from the get-go.
Yeah, but I didn't expect it to be like that. It's like not Mushoku Tensei. The
You're thinking of Madoka Magica.
Madoka Magica.
That's the same thing. 3 episodes in is when it comes with the heaviness.
This is more like 6. Like, it's pretty heavy. I think. This show is just heavy in general. There's a lot of like loss and a lot of because the whole beginning is you learn that the military massacred a bunch of people
As they do.
because they're a different race and different colors. So that's what this whole thing was. They just massacred everybody.
Committed genocide.
Yep,
Okay.
just to make basically 2 immortal beings, and that's the whole beginning. And then they're like, okay, so this guy with his daughter has been trying to make homunculuses. They're not able to because it's human magic. You're not supposed to do anything to humans. It's like the normal doctors nowadays. Yeah. I guess we can't test on humans. Makes no sense. But so then he's like, oh, if I don't figure out something soon, they're going to take my license away. We're going to be poor again. So I don't want to be poor. So he goes, okay, we can play with Dad today. And basically what he says, so we're going to play together. And he combines them together. And it's fucking dark. The kid's kind of still happy to be alive, but doesn't really know what happened.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, fuck this guy. I hope he gets killed and the government, like, banishes him. They don't do any of that.
So he doesn't die.
He does, and about 10 minutes later, there's the first villain you see. It's because he's called Scar. He is the people who got massacred. He's one of the few survivors. He's going around killing all the white people. The best way to say he's killing all the state alchemists.
Yeah.
Basically high-ranking
Right.
military people. So he's just going around killing people. He goes and kills them. And he's like, I'm putting them down. Fuck those guys. And then that's a whole big arc of... Basically, the whole show is you think he's one of the main villains. He's just a...
He's a victim.
Yeah, he's a victim.
He's a victim.
He's a victim.
And they just like Dragon Ball, he's the Piccolo. He fights them. He kills a lot of people, to be fair. And then they're like, we have the same enemy now. Let's go fight together. And then they kiss. They kiss.
What happened to the dog girl?
She got killed by that guy, by Scar. So you're just like, oh, okay, that's nice.
I respect that.
Because to be fair, they kill almost in every arc, probably two main characters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters that have like super plot armor. Obviously, like the 2 main characters, the Mustang and his love interest, I'd argue, are pretty plot safe. And then the guy from I don't know what area he's from. Like, there's a whole sand area that separates multiple lands. He's from the other land.
The pseudo Japan?
Yeah. Is it Japan?
I don't
or is
remember.
it China?
Well,
I'm kind of confused on what area.
It's like it's your stereo, because this is the same thing in every fantasy anime, right? It's always the same shtick, no matter which one you read. As a person who's read way too many of them, there is the proto-European fantasy world that's usually separated by a desert to the proto-Asian world.
Yeah, because
every goddamn fantasy world.
Because I think it's the only reason I think it's China is like
the same.
The name of the main characters, and then the other girl has a panda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's not many pandas in Japan from what I remember.
No, but it's always the same shit. Oh, I can't tell you how many fucking light novels I've read. There's always like, there's the standard European JRPG world, and then there's like a wasteland or an ocean, and then it's Asia land.
Yep. That's basically it's sand, and they're like, we gotta cross the sand to get to the other land.
Well, it depends. Like, because the majority of the time is Japan land, normally. But sometimes they like to mix it up a little bit, and there's a little bit of China, maybe Korea, normally not, but a little bit of China, like Southeast is Asia land.
To me, I think from what I remember, the sand were all the people that were massacred.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that was their territory.
Yeah.
So they just massacred all this.
Wow.
There's like at the end of the show, you see like maybe like a community of them.
I think the thing with Brotherhood and like the way the lasting power and what it is, it's the idea. I always like to describe it as, especially if you think about the time when it came out and everything, it follows the trend of we're gonna take something old and lighthearted and make the dark remake of it.
Yeah.
Which is just what it is, right? It's like the Casino Royale that came out, or the Dark Knight in movie way, right?
Yeah.
Where you have this wave in the early 2000s of like, oh, we're gonna make dark, more gritty versions of the campy stuff that we're all used to, right? And that's kind of what Brotherhood is, and that's what a lot of people go into it and stuff, and they see this thing that's like, oh, this is so different than the standard shonen that I've seen. It's a lot of, it used to be, at least everyone's like gateway into the more mature side of what anime could be.
I can see why people think this is one of the best anime of all time if you have watched only old anime. Because I think within that time period, it is a big step towards how anime is done nowadays.
Yeah.
Because, this is no different than, to me, like Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Like,
telling me this is the best anime ever just because it's edgy.
No.
I think the story is actually really good.
Edgy for
Because
its time.
It is. But
it's like how people talk about Death Note being like one of the best anime.
Because it's
edgy and it's that time period. It's like that time period, I think, didn't have certain things like this.
So when you're 15 years old, you're like, dude, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Angst, edginess,
and then the people are defending now that are 30 and older are like, this is my childhood. It was the best anime of all time.
Because it's a very different vibe, too, right? Because
this is your Attack on Titan,
Yes.
Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man of the early 2000s.
I would argue this is close to Attack on Titan. Very close to it. From at least what I have seen.
But that's what it is, and that's a lot of people that it gave the. That's why there's so many people that will go in and be like, oh, Japanese animation is not just Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Or Sailor
Moon, or Dragon Ball, or
just greedy stories.
Yeah, the power of friendship kind of things, right? This is like when you're starting to go into that territory where everyone's like, oh, you discover, like you said, you discover Death Note, you discover this.
You start going to the darker stuff. I feel like you hit this and Death Note, then you go like Black Bible right after. Like it's in that category of life.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's how that progression works.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's that thing. And it's not like, because I don't feel like this is as edgy even as what you would consider like serious edge in some stuff. This isn't like the fucking the opening of Elfen Lied or whatever's right. No. It's not that levels, right?
It's not Future Diaries.
It's not Future Diary levels of edge, right? But it is good. Like it is like legitimately good. And I think also it's the thing of, oh, you took something that I know to be this filler heavy, like super lighthearted kind of shonen, and it showed what you can do with that type of story.
Yeah, and this show has almost no filler.
You're like, I've only seen Soul Eater and Bleach.
Yeah,
that's the same vibe.
Like this show has no filler. The issue with this show is that there's parts they talk about that they never do, and I think there is a lot of time jumping that maybe if you've read the manga might help you understand what happened within these time periods. But there's parts where it's just like, oh, we're going over here, and then been like 2 years.
3 years
and you're like,
what the fuck?
Oh yeah, they got captured, and you're like, what happened? When?
When did this happen?
Yeah, as I told Eddie when we were in the car, I'm like, it reminds me of like there's parts like Sunny Boy. Remember Sunny Boy?
Yeah.
Where it was just like, oh, blah 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 died off screen, and you're like, why did you do that? I'd like to see that part. So there was a lot of that I felt like in the show. Personally, I do not think this is the best anime of all time. Not even close. I think this is
not a 9.8 in your mad list.
No, I put this. I think it's an 8.5. I think it's really good.
Yes.
I think this is the top maybe 50 anime of all time, maybe 100.
This is not end all be all.
This is not the best anime. If you want to fight me in the comments. I will fight back.
Fight me.
I'm ready.
Fight me.
But I will say personally, this is not the best anime of all time.
It's good. And that's why I said
really
I've never had an issue with it. People are like, oh, it's good. I mean, yeah, it's good.
I think if this was me 15 years ago, I'd probably say this might be in my top 5.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, because fucking everyone watched it back in like 2010
but people are still defending
whatever.
it is the issue.
It's just nostalgia.
It's nostalgia goggles, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, everyone's going to defend it.
Yeah, as I said. I think there's great parts. I think there's a lot of bad parts.
And diehard fans are diehard fans.
I like it that it's 64 episodes, complete.
Yeah.
The voice acting in English is fine. It's really good.
Yeah.
Japanese, I heard, I watched 2 episodes in Japanese just to get the voices so I know what they're like. Also really good.
How are the openings?
There's like 8 openings.
What are they, bangers?
Like 5 endings.
Who gives a shit about the ending?
I don't remember them.
They're not bangers.
They're good.
They're
not.
They're a solid 5.
They're not on my Spotify playlist.
They're, like when I look at my playlist and I look at like all these old openings or openings that I grew up with that you know it plays and everyone's like yeah.
This man skipped every fucking opening. That's how you know it's not good.
I that's what I did. I listened to the opening and ending once.
And then you're like, hey.
I did. To be fair, I did not watch the opening and endings because they always give too much away, in my opinion. So I don't like to watch. I don't like to watch the visuals, so I cannot tell you if the visuals were nice.
Man,
but the music was I was like, it was good. But I'm not looking forward to listening to it on my phone ever again.
You heard it here first.
Not the best anime of all
Not the
time.
best anime of all time.
But I do have some art coming up for it. So if you want to buy some stickers, I am going to probably do a gym logo or do an old-timey of the Armstrong. I might do some of Al or something.
Here's the thing now that we think about it. Now we've touched upon this idea, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we don't have to do it here, right? So it's a thing to think about is what we would consider
The best anime
of all time.
Some are going to say this is something because I've seen a lot of anime.
Yeah.
I think I'm on like 400 or 500 within my Mal list. It's quite big. There's a lot of old anime I have not seen that are in the top 100. I will go through a lot of it, and I will tell you if they are the best anime. This is what I'm here for. And we got one coming up soon. Some would say we're recording it next.
Nice.
Like, we can go through old ones. We can go through nostalgia trips.
I've seen so many recently.
Perfect. So Bob's on the list of stuff we can talk about. So if you think this is the best anime of all time, or you think you know what the best anime of all time is, leave it in the comments.
Fight it out.
You fight it. I will be there in the war. I'll put my helmet on.
Within 5 years, I ain't gonna listen to it.
Oh, that's gonna be a shame when we talk about the next movie or anime. See you next time.
That's how you flip them off.
Fuck you guys.